Yeah, so MenuRx, if you want to work with MenuRx is, they're based in Louisiana, but the guy, Dr. Jake May, who's the head man in charge, he's from Cleveland. He's a huge Browns fan. We talk all the time. And if you want to work on better nutrition, if you want to work on what diet plan or workout plan or eating plan will work for your specific body, everybody's got a different metabolism. Everybody breaks down foods differently. One diet or one eating plan could work better for Tyvis as opposed to Jason or vice versa. So to find out, to be medically tested scientists, doctors that work specifically with you, one-on-one conversations, get a free consultation by going to menu-rx.com today. And if you sign up for any of their plans, you get a 1-year membership to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, absolutely free. That's a $60 value for free. Medical coverage, medical insurance might cover your plan for MenuRx. You could use an FSA or HSA spending account as well. Go to menu-rx.com. That's menu-rx.com.
All right, guys, let's talk a little Guardians for a sec. A big comeback
Just
win
a sec,
against the
and
Dodgers.
then we're out.
All right, we're done. Let's move on. Let's talk some more. No, I'm kidding. The Guardians did have a big win yesterday, avoiding the sweep against L.A. with a comeback win. Angel Martínez with the eventual go-ahead home run. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But during the game, Stephen Kwan left with right wrist inflammation.
Yeah.
And before the game, Lane Thomas was scratched with plantar fasciitis. We haven't got exact updates yet on those two, but, Bo, you were telling me before the show, it doesn't seem like either is going to be too serious for the Guardians.
Well, I don't know about Lane Thomas, but the report, Stephen Vogt after the game made a comment saying I can't remember the exact quote, but he basically said, we expect Stephen Kwan to be back in the lineup Friday. The Guardians are off today. They'll start a series with the other L.A. team, the Angels, even though they don't actually play in L.A. On Friday. But so that's good news. Now, as Jason, you and I talked about off the air, the Guardians are very cagey when it comes to injuries. Stephen Vogt and this organization doesn't want to reveal anything. So if Stephen Kwan actually ended up on the IL, it wouldn't shock me because you never know. They're usually not very honest when it comes to injuries. But I'll take him at his word for now. He did say that he expects him back on Friday.
A lot of teams play it that way.
Yeah. That's true. Fair enough. Yeah.
It's not just them. There's a lot of teams that try and hide as long as possible how serious things are. But if he says he's going to be back, we'll believe him until he's not.
What about Lane Thomas? What's plantar fasciitis?
He's had a miserable season.
Woo.
I would bet he goes back on the IL. Is my guess.
It's tough. Plantar fasciitis is tough.
I had it in both.
Let's go. Put him on the IL. Call up Kafis. Let's go right now.
That right there bring an elephant down. He got to get a lacrosse ball and roll his foot on there I put a bottle
golf ball.
Yeah, put that in there. Put it in the
golf ball
in the freezer.
Golf ball in the freezer.
Rub your foot on there real. Oh wee.
Yeah.
It's better to probably just tear it though. They said if you tear the little ligament, they said that's the best thing that you could do for it.
Kirk Barton told me that. He was fighting it and he said it tore and it was so painful when it tore and then it was such relief.
That's what they say. I never tore it. I tried too. I was down there playing hard.
trying to tear it.
Oh my God.
I would the pain is
then
ridiculous.
It heals quicker or just heals?
It heals and it's done. You don't have to deal with the pain no more.
Yeah. I would guess with that, Lane Thomas will probably end up on the injured list. You don't want to play a man down for a few days.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's certainly a possibility.
Could we see a Kafis call up?
You know what's funny about that?
Yeah.
Jeff Passan obviously covers MLB for ESPN, wrote a story that was posted this morning. I don't know if you saw it.
I have not seen it.
On Roman Anthony and Jack Caglianone.
Yeah.
Both
ready to be called up.
Top prospects, haven't been called up yet.
Yeah.
Royals and Red Sox fan bases are saying, why aren't you calling these guys up?
Right.
Get them in the lineup, da-da-da-da-da. Sort of what you've been, on a much lower scale, what you've been saying about Kafis.
Yeah.
And JJ Piccolo, I think it was Piccolo, the Royals GM, said, you're trying to do right by the player, and you can't really look at the team and say, well, there's a hole here.
That's correct.
You got to get him up. If the guys, you got to go on the player's timeline, not so much the team's timeline.
That's correct.
Now I think that's for a top prospect, but someone who's a little bit more middling like Kafis, I don't know.
I guess he's higher than middling. He's not top.
He's middling.
I think he's between top and middling. There's got to be a level
In
between
no
top
world,
and middling.
in no world is C.J. Kafis a top prospect.
But I didn't say that. I said there's a
He's
level.
middling.
I said there's a level between top and middling.
There's top and bottom and middle. He's in the middle.
I don't agree with that. I have another level, whatever you want to call it.
Do you have upper middle?
I have upper middle.
Upper
He's
middle
upper
class?
middle. Yeah, I want him. He's on the upper middle.
Is he in the upper side of the upper middle? Is he
Well,
in the middle side of the upper
the
middle? Is he on the lower
excuse-
side of the upper middle?
The
Oh my
excuse
gosh.
they'll use on Caglione is that he's striking out at a somewhat high clip.
His chase rate.
Yeah, fine, okay, but ultimately, you want to get. You can't get better until you face the best players, well, that's not completely true. But you can't reach the level you want to be and it's okay if you struggle. Matt Shaw, Cubs' best prospect,
Yeah.
he started the season in the big leagues. He struggled. Went back to the minors for 3 weeks. He's come back and he's been great.
I almost feel like you
Yeah.
have to. You got to get that out of the way.
Yes,
Because we saw it with Manzardo. We
Yeah.
saw it with
Yes.
Jackson Holiday in Baltimore.
yes,
You know they're probably going to struggle.
Yeah.
So just rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
Get them their 2 weeks where they strike out 10 or 12 times. Set them
Right.
back down so then they can mentally adjust to what they've seen.
That's right.
And then you can bring them back up. But it just feels like you're delaying the clock on that process. Yeah,
Right.
they're probably going to struggle the first time. Kobe Mayo at the Orioles has been horrible now
Yeah.
twice.
Yes.
Doesn't mean he's not going to have a great career, but he's been terrible in 2 short stints now.
Right, yeah.
But you got to go through that.
that's right.
So when you look at, and so now I'll bring it back around to the Guardians, a guy
Yeah.
like Kafis and a guy like DeLauder. I
Yeah.
know they want to get DeLauder up here. And I told you guys before, the plan before he got hurt in spring training was, hey, give him 30 games of being able to play every day because he's
Yeah.
never experienced that. He can't stay healthy long enough to play every day. What's that like? What's it like to go 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts and then mentally have to come back the next day and do it again and then do it again and then do it again and then do it again? So if he can string together a couple of weeks where he's healthy and he's playing moderately well, I think Chase DeLauder will be up here. I have no idea with Kafis. I don't know what the thought
I don't know. I
process
mean,
is
I don't
on
know
that.
what at this point.
And maybe it's tomorrow.
Yeah, and listen, Nolan
Maybe
Jones.
Lane
I know
Tom-
Nolan Jones had a good game after he came in for Kwan, but
Yeah.
he's done nothing.
Right.
You've got holes all over the lineup. I'll be curious to see, and I know they hadn't as of 2 days ago. I don't know what he's done the last couple of days. I was curious if they were going to play Chase DeLauder in center field down in the minors to see, especially with Lane Thomas's injury right now.
Right.
I would call up Kafis, let him play right field. I'd play Chase DeLauder in center field. He has played in the minors in center field before, not a ton, but just like they've moved Kafis to right field here to try to give him an opportunity to have a spot. That's the only reason they moved him to right field.
Right.
Is because you want to call him up.
And
so
that's what the Royals do with Caglianone. They moved him to right field.
Right.
They're in the exact
Right.
same spot that the Guardians are with
Yeah.
terrible production from their outfield. And
Yes.
They're trying to create a spot for their
yeah.
guy.
As for the game yesterday, it was a great win because you don't want to get swept, even. And again, I went on my soapbox yesterday. This idea that the Guardians can't compete with the Dodgers and the Yankees. I don't believe that. I think that's nonsense that people say when they lose a series to these teams. But it was a great win yesterday. Clase's velocity back up a little, but it's still not exactly where you want to see it. He was throwing like 98.5, 99 yesterday. You want it a little harder than that. So I'm still a little concerned in terms of his velocity.
Let me ask you
Yeah.
this. At this point, you said we're at the 1/3 mark? of
Just
the season?
past the 1/3 mark, yeah.
After 1/3, what do you think is the ceiling for this team? This Guardians team.
In terms of what? Wins?
What do you mean? Could they?
Yeah, like how far could
they win the World
How
Series?
far?
Yes.
How far do you anticipate?
I think the
them
Guardians could win the World Series. Would I pick them to win the World Series? No. Do they have a roster that if enough goes well, they could win the World Series? Yes.
Okay.
As unlike, I know nobody's going to believe that, and they probably won't win the World Series, but there's other teams I look at, I'm like, they can't win the World Series. The Guardians, if you say
What about-
if you say we're going to the playoffs with Bybee, Williams, and Bieber as my top 3 starters, and one of the best, if not the best bullpen in the league, I got a shot. Now, what is the lineup going to be good enough to beat the Yankees or the Dodgers? Probably not. But with that pitching staff, I'd give them a chance.
Is the biggest threats in the AL the Yankees in Detroit, Seattle, Detroit?
I guess.
I still have a hard time calling Detroit
You
a
don't,
threat.
you
I
just
know
don't
they got the
believe
best
it.
record. I know they're playing great. I still have a hard time looking at that team and saying they're the favorites.
I don't see the best teams in baseball are in the National League. That's it. All right, and I know the Yankees are playing great, and the Tigers are playing great. I I look at the Yankees roster, and I just don't think their roster is great. I think it's good. And Aaron Judge is sensational. I think the rest of their lineup is okay.
I wouldn't sleep on the Astros just yet. They're not terrible. They've been playing okay.
They've got major pitching problems.
Yeah, but
Blanco's out for the year.
Arrietty's coming back. They'll make a trade. Alvarez has been awful. He hadn't even been healthy.
What's the Brown dude?
Hunter Brown's been great, but that's it. Framber Valdez hasn't been great this year. Blanco's out for the year. McCullers did have a ton of strikeouts yesterday, but he hasn't pitched in 2 years. We'll see.
I wouldn't pick him. I'm just saying
not writing them off.
I wouldn't write him off.
No, but I mean, is their roster that much better than the Guardians? I just don't see it, top to bottom.
I'd like their lineup a whole lot better.
Of course, I could say that about a lot of teams, but I'd take the Guardians pitching.
I like the Guardians pitching
better than most other teams.
Yeah,
so
I mean, Cleveland would not be my number one,
of course
or my number two, and probably not my number three.
No,
the Americans to win the World Series.
Bieber pitched, right?
He's Saturday.
He didn't. I thought he pitched on
Saturday.
He's pitching
Saturday in Arizona.
Yeah. That's going to be his first time.
And Tristan actually pitches Friday in Arizona. Yeah. That's kind of gone on.
David Fry's played 2 games in the minors. I don't know where he's been. Is he playing in Columbus? I don't know where it's been, but he
was in Columbus yesterday.
Yeah, so he's played 2 games in Columbus. We could see him in a week.
Maybe. Yeah.
But then that messes up the lineup.
You can't mess it up worse than it already is.
Messes up the lineup. They stink the lineup.
Okay. I still need to know what's going to happen with the first base.
David Fry is going to DH against lefties.
Okay.
And some of and those at bats lost will be Santana and some from Manzardo. I don't think Manzardo's.
You was on the cut Santana train.
I'm still on the cut Santana train, but I don't think they're going to do it.
Probably not.
He's been better in May.
I don't think you can take at bats away from Kyle Manzardo. He's got to be in the lineup.
They've been sitting him against lefties, even though he was.
I mean, if you want to sit him against Tarek Skubal, okay, fine.
Yeah, right.
But
sure.
For the most part, he needs to be in there against lefties.
Yeah, but he sat yesterday against Clayton Kershaw, which the name is sexy, but Clayton Kershaw's not the pitcher.
Yeah, he's not the same guy.
So I don't like that, but yeah, I mean, I would essentially platoon. I would have against lefties Manzardo at first, Fry at DH. Against righties, if you're going to keep Santana at first, and I'd actually play Manzardo at first all the time.
So let me ask you this, because y'all say that the lineup is terrible.
Yeah.
Given what you know about the guys in the minors and the guys that's in the majors, if you could put together a lineup with 9, who would you put in the lineup?
I mean, in a perfect world. I'd have DeLauder in center.
Okay.
I'd have Kafis in right, Kwan in left. I'd have Manzardo at first. By the end of the year, I'd have Bazana at second. I'd have, I guess, I don't know, shortstop.
Yeah. You say it. You can say it.
I think Roki will get another chance.
Wow.
I don't know.
I think he'll get another chance. Arias isn't running away with this thing.
No shortstop and catcher, you got nothing. Maybe, and I guess, and the DH would be
David Fry.
Maybe David Fry and with Angel Martínez in the mix a little bit, as my first guy, utility guy. Mm-hmm. If that was in a perfect world, let's say in September.
I mean, you're calling a perfect world. 2 of those guys have never taken a major league at bat.
3.
Oh, 3.
DeLauder, Bazana,
I don't think Bazana is realistic.
Probably not, but I'm saying in September. In a perfect world.
September, if you was putting together your hitting lineup, who would you want?
I'd make a trade for a shortstop. That's what I do, or a catcher.
I'm talking about just currently guys that's currently on this roster right now.
Yeah. That's it. That would be it, I guess.
Okay.
I think Lane Thomas is still a center fielder when he's healthy. I just think you can't count on guys who've never taken a major league at bat.
Of course we can't. No, I mean, I don't disagree.
But you want to see them.
In a perfect world, I mean, the upside.
So who is out of the 3 minor leaguers that he named, who would you not? Bazana, Kafis?
I don't think
he just doesn't think Bazana's.
I don't think Bazana's.
He might not.
Because
probably,
of the injury, I don't think you're going to see
I wouldn't bet on Bazana being on the team this year. I'm just saying it. He asked me in a perfect world. So
I don't think you're going to see Bazana until May next year.
Yeah, probably true.
But we definitely should at some point see DeLauder and Kafis.
Yeah, soon.
I think Kafis should be up today.
And maybe
tomorrow,
maybe he is. If Lane Thomas goes on the DL, maybe that's the move. DeLauder, I think you could see DeLauder. What's today? End of May. I think you can see DeLauder here within 2 or 3 weeks.
And Martínez plays second base?
Martínez can play second. He can play center.
Mike, can you look up Columbus's starting lineup yesterday and see what position DeLauder played? Because I'm curious if they're going to try him in center. I'll be watching that today and tomorrow with Thomas getting hurt again.
I mean, it's probably not that much more of a risk, but the wear and tear of being in center.
He was in right field.
Yeah, you're already dealing with a guy who can't stay healthy, who's really, really struggled with injuries, and now you want to throw him into.
So you know what? Gosh. So then you want to call him. So bring up Kafis. Let's see how he does for a few weeks. If he does great, and you want to call up DeLauder, then cut Santana, make Kafis the DH, put DeLauder in right field, and let's go.
It's a risk.
Santana make who the DH?
Kafis.
What's a risk? What's risky in what I'm saying there?
Well,
if Kafis hits for 2 weeks, now suddenly you think he's going to be good for the rest of the year? Because look at.
You mean it's risky cutting Santana? What's he going to do the second half of the year? You'll still have David Fry in the mix.
I'm not a big Carlos Santana guy, but he's at least moderately steady.
Okay,
Kafis could
he
fall
is
apart
tied
at
for
any moment.
second on the team in RBI. He actually tied for first on the team in RBI.
Yes.
Yeah, I just don't care. 27 RBI. That you say that as if that's an accomplishment, Mike. 27 RBIs at this point of the season is not a good number.
Somebody has to be first.
That OPS isn't terrible. It's not great. It's not
elite.
It's
below average.
But it's right around
and he's
average.
old.
It's right around it. But I'm saying he's steady. It's at least you know what you're getting.
But I'm saying if you did that in theory, and then you went with a Kafis Fry platoon as your DH.
I think Fry would be a little bit more of a backup.
Yeah.
In terms of a backup plan, in terms of you would hope that he could at least be steady.
Santana is serviceable.
Yes, that's.
But I need some guys with upside, Jason, and there's no upside on Carlos Santana. We need some guys with upside to play. Kafis deserves an opportunity. I think they should call him up. They're not going to call up DeLauder just yet because he just got off the injured list. Although you could argue, and maybe you said this, I can't remember, but DeLauder gets hurt all the time. Maybe they should just call him up before he gets hurt again. So it'll be interesting to see. But good win yesterday. You got a 3-game set with the Angels, and the Angels stink, so hopefully they can take advantage of that. Then they go to the Bronx. They just faced the Dodgers. Now you face the Yankees. And you're going to have to face Max Fried, who's been
in the Bronx.
Yes, Max Fried's been one of the best pitchers in baseball this year, and Carlos Rodon has had a huge bounce-back season at 10 strikeouts 2 nights ago. He'll pitch against the Guardians as well. You will miss the Angels' only good pitcher, Yusei Kikuchi, who pitched yesterday, so you miss him. And then, but they're playing outside of the Angels. You're playing all pretty good teams.
We
got to get our lick back on Cincinnati. I'm tired of the people in Columbus that I work with. We swept you. I'm sick of that.
Well, we talked last week about what a grind this is going to be.
Yeah.
4 of the Tigers, and then 3 of the Dodgers, and then the Yankees in there.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you go 4-3 against the 2 best teams in the best team in the American League, the best team in the National League. You take it and run with it.
That was great.
They're still
good week.
6 games back. They're still right there. My fear was you can't come out of this and you're 12 games, 13 games out in the division, and now you're strictly a wild card team.
Right.
That's not the case. They've hung in there.
And they are a wild card team right now.
Right now, yeah. But the division is very much within reach.
Where is
Detroit's coming back.
Where is Miles Straw?
To Toronto.
Toronto bench.
I have one more baseball question, then we'll move on. We always talk about it's too early to look at the stats. It doesn't matter until X date. Jason, I believe you said the end of May is when you start paying attention to
Memorial Day weekend,
standings, all that.
Yeah.
Are we at that point where now this stuff really counts?
Yeah, I think now you can start to draw conclusions on what guys are, who they're going to be this year.
Yeah.
Memorial Day for me is just sort of the measure, things start to stabilize and normalize around Memorial Day. If you're hitting 210 on June 1st, you're probably, although most major leaguers are hitting 210 now, but if you're not having a good year by June 1st, chances are you're probably not going to have a very good year.
So they got to make a decision on
Gabby. Are you bringing that up in reference to any player specific or any team specifically?
No, it was more just asking in general because I looked up because you're right. I know 27, 28 RBI is not very impressive. Santana and Manzardo are tied for the team lead in RBIs. Do you know where that ranks overall in Major League Baseball? How many players
have more than 27 ribbies?
Yes.
I would say 14.
Oh, my God. Way more, like 50 maybe.
Really? I was going to say 35 or 40.
50. I'll say 50.
So Santana and Manzardo, who lead the Guardians, are tied for 64th in baseball.
I was even,
Oh, wow.
13.
I was trying to be generous.
No.
I should have got said something crazy.
The guy who has the 13th most RBIs, Tyvis, is Geraldo Perdomo of the Arizona Diamondbacks, who has 39 RBIs.
Yeah, I think the Cubs have 3 players with 50, don't they?
No, only 3 players in the entire league have 50.
But 2 of them are Cubs.
2 of them are Cubs.
Yeah.
And then Rafael Devers is the 3rd.
Oh, okay.
How many does Judge have? Judge that name? 50?
47, right below. He's 4th.
Seiya Suzuki and Pete Crow Armstrong, top 3 in ribbies. I don't think most people have that.
How's your boy for the Dodgers been pitching this year? Sasaki.
He's hurt.
He got hurt? Oh,
yeah.
Well,
he hasn't pitched very well.
That's the guy
he's been okay.
The guy that you stood on the table for.
Yeah. Guardian should have. They had no chance to sign him. He wanted to play for the Dodgers, so it didn't matter. All right. I stood on the table for Gleyber Torres, and he's having a heck of a season with the Tigers. Would be a great fit in this Guardians lineup. But the Guardians instead signed Paul Sewald. Great choice.